Massive changes, massive news for the gold and silver community. There must be something big, 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 double big, triple big going on right now in the world that you and I, as a gold and silver investor, need to pay close attention to. Why else would Donald Trump have said this yesterday? This is an evolving story that we're going to keep on top of, guys. But this comes from Bloomberg via Yahoo Finance. Bloomberg: Trump demands commitment from BRICS on using the U.S. dollar. Donald Trump is threatening BRICS countries with a 100% tariff if they attempt to move away from the U.S. dollar. Guys, this is maybe the biggest news story of the year for precious metals investors, because it indicates to us that there's something big going on. Why else? Why else? I want you to think about this. Why else would Trump be out there leveling these threats against the BRICS countries unless they were worried about what's going on? Have we heard about weaponization of the U.S. dollar? Have we heard about de-dollarization? And what about that massive news story? I need to look you in the eye. Uh-oh. Oh, no, I did it. Hold on here. Okay, hold on. We're having some technical problems. Hold on here. Hold on. Another window. Okay, here we go. Okay, I think we're back. I think I fixed it. Hopefully you guys can still hear me and see me. Sorry about that. Let me pull this up. Hello, basement dwellers? Somebody give me a 5x5 if you get a chance. But why else would they be doing this if they weren't worried? And remember just 2 months ago, 2 years ago, all the talk was about the BRICS gold-backed currency. We know what Russia and China, what their intentions are with precious metals. We know what the BRICS countries want to do. So why else? Why else would Trump have come out with this? Let's go back to the article. Sorry about the technical difficulties there that we briefly experienced. U.S. President-elect Donald Trump warned the BRICS nations that he would require commitments that they would not move to create a new currency as an alternative to using the U.S. dollar, and repeated threats to levy a 100% tariff. This was yesterday. He said, quote, "The idea that the BRICS countries are trying to move away from the dollar while we stand by and watch is over," Trump said in a post to his Truth social network on Saturday. He said, quote, "We require a commitment from these countries that they will neither create a new BRICS currency nor back any other currency to replace the mighty U.S. dollar, or they will face 100% tariffs and should expect to say goodbye to selling into the wonderful U.S. economy," he added. Oh my gosh, guys, this is crazy what is going on. Trump, listen to this. Trump and his economic advisors have been discussing ways to punish allies and adversaries alike who seek to engage in bilateral trade in currencies other than the dollar. I can't help but ask the question, if two countries want to trade with each other and they want to do it without the U.S. dollar, why do we have this right to demand that they use the dollar? I don't quite get that, right? Why should we? Doesn't that kind of feel like we're maybe being a little bit of a bully? I don't know. Look, I love my country. I love everything about the United States. You know, there's a self-waving American flag behind me, but by golly, by gosh, if two countries want to trade with each other and they want to use their own currencies, I don't get it. These measures include considering options such as export controls, currency manipulation charges, and levies on trade, according to people familiar with the matter. The president-elect's warning against the BRICS nations suggests, quote, how confused the incoming administration is about the global trade and capital system. That was according to Mike Pettis, a senior fellow at the Carnegie Endowment for International Peace. Guys, we are moving. Well, boy, things are just off the rails today. I tell you, we are moving to an environment that is going to be so favorable for silver and gold. Ask yourself this, so critical for us to remember. Why else would they be talking about one? Why else would the Trump administration be threatening the world? Don't you dare think about using anything but the US dollar for trade unless they were very scared that the world is moving in that direction. Doesn't that make sense? And we know as they move in that direction, we know that the world central banks are doing what? Are buying gold, okay? De-dollarization is real. And it also begs this question, isn't competition good? Right? It's something about this has me, and not a political statement, but something about this as a gold and silver investor has me a little, let's say, intrigued about what's developing in the world right now. We've got this here. Here's a great one from our friends at X. Okay, this is from Gold Telegraph. Today marks a historic shift, referring to what happened yesterday. In red, the United States drowning in 36 trillion of debt in a nearly 7% GDP deficit threatens nations to uphold its debt-based currency. Isn't that what we're doing? Meanwhile, BRICS moves to reset and rebuild with hard assets, gold and silver. See the gold down there? The U.S. needs to leverage the gold that we leverage gold to retain dominance. And we've got people like Judy Shelton, right? Dr. Judy Shelton, who was almost put on the Fed by Donald Trump during his first administration, who's talking about just that. Okay, we're going to go all over the place here, guys, but she's talking about gold-backed U.S. Treasury notes. On top of that, this is more evidence. Gold and silver are coming to a storefront near you, my fellow basement dwellers. Gold and silver are reclaiming, right, what has always been rightfully theirs as the dominant force backing money, backing value in the world. Okay, it's happening, and it's happening in real time right now. Look at this. I thought this was very interesting. Let's see what Peter Schiff had to say. We talked about this last night, but it bears repeating because this has gotten 134,000 views on X, probably more than that by now. He says Trump claims that the U.S. is a sucker for allowing BRICS nations to supply Americans with low-cost, high-quality consumer goods in exchange for paper dollars. But it's the BRICS nations that are the real suckers as they trade their real goods for our fiat currency, right? What he's saying is that the world is waking up, okay? The world is waking up. The world is entering a new day, a new dawn. Gold and silver are like big brown bears that have been hibernating for the last 50 years as the United States imposed upon the world this paper fiat money system, which is on the verge of breaking up. Do we need to go look at the U.S. debt clock? Let's go do our daily field trip and check out just to make sure that things haven't gotten any better overnight. Here, let's take a look at where do you think the national debt is right now? Okay, there we go. $36 trillion. All right, we're halfway to 36 trillion, 100 billion. I mean, it's just blowing up out of control since we're here. Let's look at the silver market. Okay, the dollar to silver ratio, $1,043. What is today? Today's December 1st. Welcome to December, basement dwellers. Let's just update this since we've done such a good job. And what we're tracking here, guys, is the dollar to silver ratio. What did I say it was? 1,043? Somebody help me out here. We'll fix it if I'm wrong. Okay. The dollar to silver ratio, that means that for each 1 ounce of silver that's being mined in the world right now, the United States government is printing 1,043 paper dollars, or M2 money, increase in M2 money supply for each 1 ounce of silver. Okay. Not saying that the silver price should be $1,000 per ounce. No, we are not saying that, but that does demonstrate to us just how much paper money is being created relative to how much silver is being created in the world right now. And of course, like we always like to look at every day, it did go up. the paper to silver ratio, 411 ounces of paper silver being traded on the electronic exchanges for each 1 ounce of silver. That's actually up. So nothing significant. It's been around 410, 411 for a while, but still, that's what we have. Now, I want to remind you of something very interesting about Donald Trump. Well, okay, let's we'll go straight to this one. Hold on here. Okay, did we cover that? Yes. All right, here we are. And what does it mean when we read this? Now, this is from a few years back. Nonetheless, Trump accepts gold instead of dollars from a new tenant. This was originally reported back in 2011, but this tells us something about this man and his thoughts on gold. Rents are too darn high. Donald Trump, he's complaining about the Federal Reserve. Again, this was from a few years back. Okay. Usually, Donald Trump had rented some space in one of his new buildings. And listen to this. Usually, Trump gets a certified check for a security deposit when leasing space in one of his office towers. But we'll have a first on Fox. We'll have, interview with Trump today as he accepts gold bullion worth about $200,000 from Michael Haynes, the chief executive of precious metals dealer APMEX. The gold payment was an APMEX idea. Trump press says Trump has been bullish on gold due to his concerns about the value of the U.S. dollar. Now, granted, that was a few years ago, but you may remember that story like I did. It made headlines that Trump was accepting gold instead of cash, instead of cashier's checks, right, for lease payments on his properties. Wow, guys, we got 400 people on a Sunday morning. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being part of the basement. If you want to get new content every single day regarding the gold and silver market, world events, but it always ties back to what's our favorite subject, gold and silver. Please consider benefiting from subscribing to the channel. If you get tired of me, you don't have to watch. Trust me, I get tired of myself, okay? But we got a great community you can be a part of. You can leave comments in the comment section. We learn so much from each other. So thank you. Thank you. Please do, though, give this a thumbs up. That helps get the word out to more people. And super chats, donations, PayPal, whatever. Never expected. Always much appreciated. Let's move on. Are we going to have a Santa Claus rally? A Santa Claus rally are we going to have a December? It's December 1st. It's the holiday season, right? Hey, we're here. Are we going to have did you know we've had a Santa Claus rally 7 of the last years? Now, there's a reason why that happens. It's called seasonality. But are we going to experience it again this year? Are we going to have gold prices higher at the end of December than where we are today? Let's go ahead and take a look at the gold price. It can sometimes move over the weekend. Here we go. Channel sponsor Pimbex. Let's press the gold button, the little gold triangle. All right, so silver closed the week $30.70. Not too bad. Boy, will we be above $31, $32 next weekend? That remains to be seen. Gold, $2,655. Where will gold be on the last day of December? We're going to talk about that next. We're going to listen to one of the top analysts in the gold and silver sector and his thoughts about the precious metals markets as we head into December. But first, it's the holiday season. If you're looking to buy gifts for yourself or someone you love, please consider checking out Pimbex, Pimbex, fun to spell, even funner to buy gold, silver, platinum group metals from Pimbex because you will always get the best prices. You will always get more metal for your money. And if you're a stacker, if you're a person who likes to collect silver, gold, and platinum group metals, hey, you always want to get the most metal that you can. Please consider checking out Pimbex. They'll have a great selection and most importantly, a company you can trust. And big warning, big warning. If you or anyone you love, this is serious, ever decides to convert an IRA into precious metals, there's a lot of big companies that advertise on TV constantly. Just think about where's all that big advertising money coming from On top of that, some of them will tell you they'll give you 10,000 of free silver. I think one of them even says 15,000 in free silver. Guys, I hate to ruin it for you, but there's no such thing as free silver, unfortunately, or we'd all be grabbing it. So if you ever go to convert an IRA, take your time. Talk to a lot of people. Don't let anyone pressure you at all. I'm not giving financial advice. I'm just giving you my opinion. Take your time, look at all your different options. Please talk to a number of different people. You may benefit from including in that list the brothers at Pimbex. They can tell you what they can offer. And at the end of the day, compare how many actual ounces of gold and silver you'll get from any of those different options. And I think you'd be shocked at what Pimbex could do for you. But again, I'm not giving financial advice, just giving you recommendations. What I would do if I were looking to convert an IRA into precious metals. Let's go take a look. Are we in for a Santa Claus rally in the price of gold and silver? This comes from our friend Niels Christensen at Kitco. Will gold see a Santa Claus rally this year? We're going to hear from Saxo Bank's Ole Henson. We love Ole. He really is, and he's honest. This is not all good news, guys, so don't shoot the messenger here. In yellow, investors hoping for a Santa Claus rally in gold should exercise caution as recent volatility could signal a price peak, at least for this year, according to one market analyst. In his latest report, Ole Henson, head of commodity strategy at Saxo Bank, noted that gold has recorded solid gains in December for the past 7 consecutive years. That's like, a pretty good trend, wouldn't you say, guys? I mean, 7, let's go for 8, Ole, come on. He says, quote, the biggest headwind remains gold's already strong, almost 30% gain this year. Gold has been up 30% this year, leaving it close to the 30% in 2010 and 31% in 2007, while the fundamentally supportive outlook into 2025 has not changed. A gain of this magnitude may attract profit taking and position squaring ahead of the end of the year. So he's saying, hey guys, let's be grateful for where the gold and silver price are right now. While gold may struggle to hit new highs in December, Hansen said he remains bullish for 2025, forecasting prices to reach $3,000 in the new year. He added that geopolitical uncertainty should continue to support the precious metal. Quote here in yellow, Trump's radical plans on tariffs, tax cuts, and deportation highlight the risk that inflation and debt may both surprise to the upside, 2 factors that gold and silver investors seek protection from. Okay, right. We're having inflation. We've talked about that. Inflation will drive the price of gold and silver absolutely in 2025. Inflation to drive gold and silver in 2025. Hansen also noted that gold should benefit from further central bank purchasing and Federal Reserve's easing of monetary policy. This is interesting. In red, Hansen pointed out that gold prices started the week last week with a 3% drop after Trump announced his intention to nominate Scott Bessent, a traditional Wall Street financier, to lead the U.S. Treasury Department. Markets expect Bessent to be a steady safe hand for a U.S. economy, which reduced gold's appeal as a safe haven asset. I don't agree with that. Okay. And I'm going to show you something here in a second, again, that will indicate otherwise. However, later in the week, Trump threatened to impose 25% tariffs on Mexico and Canada and a 10% tariff on all products from China. Economists noted that potential trade wars could push the global economy into a recession. Now, let's go. Okay, so man, this has been a crazy week for gold and silver investors, right? We've got Trump talking about 100% tariffs on the BRICS countries, which because if they decide to use any currency outside the U.S. dollar, and guys, that only tells us one thing, and that is that the U.S. government is worried that the world is de-dollarizing. The world is bifurcating right now. That didn't change. We all talked about the Trump holiday right, that happened the 2 or 3 weeks after the election, the Trump bump, whatever you want to call it. And again, not a political statement, but now reality sets in, volatility, and that didn't change. The U.S. debt didn't go away. Nope, it's still here. The political, geopolitical issues, the splitting of the world between the East and the West did not go away. Okay, did not go away. Look, I mean, it's incredible what's developing right in front of us here. They just talk, and then okay, so that was story number one. Story number two was Scott Bessent, who's going to be the new Treasury Secretary. Scott Bessent is a gold bug. And they're talking, people are like, oh, gold went down. I mean, it makes no sense. Actually, it's maddening. I'm a little angry. Be honest with you. I'm a little angry because they nominate a gold bug to be the U.S. Treasury Secretary, and we get a like a 3% down day in the gold and silver price. Does that make any sense? Here, this comes from the Metals and Miners Substack. I thought, yeah, Metals and Miners Substack. What is Trump's pick for U.S. Treasurer Scott Bessent? His largest position, gold. All right. There's the interview where he says it. Okay. Bessent says, here, let me highlight this. Sorry, I'm not prepared. I'm going to highlight it in blue. I think we're in a long-term bull market in gold. We're seeing reserve accumulation by central banks. He says, I follow it closely. It's my biggest position. Even I was surprised when Poland said they want to take their gold reserves to 20%. This is the new Treasury Secretary. I follow the gold price closely. I follow gold closely. Gold is my biggest position. Even I was surprised. Guys, excuse me. Do you know what a massive story this is? This is here. Just to give you a visual. In this box, we're going to say bye-bye to her, is our current Treasury Secretary. All that stuff I just told you about the gold bug, his picture will be here soon. Okay? All right? This is Janet Yellen. She was the head of the Federal Reserve. She was on the Federal Reserve Board, and now she's the sitting U.S. Treasury Secretary. She's a fiat lover. She laughed and giggled when they talked about fooling the American public that, oh, we can give everybody a 1% raise, and then we can steal from them with 4% inflation or even 2% inflation. Anyway, when she goes bye-bye, okay, the person in this box, the new Treasury Secretary, is a billionaire. He's a billionaire, number one. He worked with Stanley Druckenmiller. Do you know who Stanley Druckenmiller is? He's like the smartest investor in the world, billionaire. Druckenmiller has been buying gold mining stocks, okay? He worked with George Soros, okay? And he also worked with Jim Rogers. I shouldn't call him Jimmy. I don't know him personally, but Jim Rogers, who's another. He's a guy in Singapore who's like 70-something years. I don't know how old he is, but he talks about silver and gold. That's our new Treasury Secretary. I think we have good things coming for us in the gold and silver market, right? We have Dr. Judy Shelton, who I believe Donald J. Trump will put into the Federal Reserve and who will work to issue, right, gold-backed U.S. Treasury bonds. That's her proposal from her best-selling book. And then on top of that, is it all coming together for us? On top of that, you got Trump spouting off about how if the BRICS countries think they're going to trade in anything other than the dollar, we're going to shut them down. We're going to give them 100% tariffs. That tells us, guys, that they're worried. Okay? It's all, the hens are coming home to roost, like Rick Rule says. I'm sorry. I feel strongly about this. It's my truth. I could be wrong. Don't make any financial decisions based on anything I'm saying. But I know that we are headed for some very, very interesting, ultra interesting times in these markets. Okay. Here, let's look at this one. It just doesn't end. I'm telling you. Wait a minute. Do you have a name? Yes, you do. Maybe your name's John, Rick, Larry, Nancy, Phyllis, whatever your name is. Okay, you're important. You're a part of this group. I want to say thank you again. It's a double thank you day for being here. Right? We get together, we talk. It's like a tribe. We love gold and silver. And I'm going to tell you something about you. Right? Number one, there's a very high likelihood that you are a nice person, because when I look, to me, it's over there at the comment section in these videos. There are a lot of nice people. Sure, bad apples show up every time, but there's a very high probability that you're a very nice person. And there's an almost undeniable probability that you're also a very smart person. Look, a lot of people are sitting around doing whatever on a Sunday morning. You've decided, right, to take an action and to be here, which we really appreciate, but to learn, to look at things through a different lens. None of us knows everything. None of us knows everything for sure. But together, when we get together here, we have an opportunity to share with each other and to learn from each other. Now I forgot what I was going to talk about. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Thank you. That's what I wanted to say. Let's go to this one. Oh, this is great. This guy is awesome. Eric Young, King Kong 98888. This is about this. Oh my God. I can't believe what's going on right now, guys. We got the Trump tariffs with the BRICS. We got Scott Bassett, but we forgot about the whole China. China is taking concrete moves to take over the gold and silver market. This has to do with the changes they're doing at the Shanghai Gold Exchange. China is taking over the metals markets. Well, that's the argument anyway. Just a quickie, he says, I noticed that China has cut back on paper gold products again at their banks, but at the same time, they've decreased the physical gold and silver participation thresholds at the Shanghai Gold Exchange. So what he's saying is, I'm going to highlight that, is that the Chinese banks are not offering as many paper, right? ETF-ish type things, gold and silver investment options to their public. However, critical, they lowered the participation thresholds at the Shanghai Gold Exchange. Guys, this is massive because, well, here, I'll just read this. This means China should have less paper gold products now and more physical buyers who are able to participate at the Shanghai Gold Exchange physical gold and silver markets. If this is not a China physical gold and silver short squeeze, I don't know what is. What he's saying is that the Shanghai Gold Exchange is a physical market, okay, different than the COMEX and the London Bullion Market Association, the LBMA, which are paper unicorn fart dust, make-believe, levered 411 to 1 silver markets, gold markets, but silver levered at that 411 to 1. What he's saying is now the Shanghai Gold Exchange has lowered this threshold that allows more people to participate. The Shanghai Gold Exchange is a physical market. And when they lowered that threshold, we heard Andrew Maguire over the weekend say that, like, now there's millions and millions, and I want to say the word 55 million, but don't quote me on that, more firms that can participate in the physical Shanghai Gold Exchange silver and gold market. They are sucking all of the gold and silver from us, from the West to the East. And now, does it make you a little suspicious when our incoming president is levying major threats against those countries that you better not even think about having your own currency to trade amongst yourselves? Think about it. Put the pieces together, right? Like Andy Schechtman says, they give you little crumbs. You got to put all the pieces together, and it's getting very, very interesting. And this is funny. We've got a subscriber comment to look at. This is from yesterday from Freedom Will Ring in regards to this China situation with gold and silver. He says, I'm trying to balance out the silver deficit with China. I bought some 30-gram Chinese pandas yesterday, and I'm not giving them back. So while the Shanghai Gold Exchange is sucking in all the gold and silver from the West to the East, we've got a basement dweller here who's doing his little part to level things out. So, all right, guys. All right. Hey, I want to show you a quick picture. Everybody likes to see this. I want to say thank you to my wife, Susie. She put up we got a Christmas tree. You know, when we first got married, Susie, there's our Christmas tree. That's a real tree. When we first got married, I laid down the law with her, right? You know what it's like when you first get into a relationship. I said, we are not going to waste money every year on a real Christmas tree. So we struck a deal. We're going to be married 20 years in 2 days, actually. Anyway, we struck a deal where every other year she negotiated that we would get a real Christmas tree. And I can, with a smile on my face, report to you that we've now had a real Christmas tree every one of the 20 years that we've been married. But Susie did that. Isn't that pretty? Thank you, Susie. I also laid down the law that we would never have more than one cat. And this morning, I was herding 3 cats off of our screened-in porch. There was something else. Here. I want to tell you guys. Hold on here. Oh, shoot. Hold on. Where are we? Hopefully, we're still live. The platform is messing around with me a little bit today. Hold on here. Since it is the holiday season, I want to remind you, we're going to be giving away one of those over there, DirtyMan Safes, on December 30th. If you want to enter the giveaway, there's a link in the description of this video. I think the DirtyMan Safe is really, really cool. Here, I'll show you. There's a picture of it, but that's what it comes with. That sleeve, you dig a hole, put the sleeve into the hole, then you lower your DirtyMan Safe into it, you put that cap on top, and then you cover it with dirt, and then you have buried treasure in your yard. Gold, silver, your car keys, whatever you want to put in there, right? You're like a pirate. And it's safe from fire. I never thought about that. Floods and all kinds of things. Let me show you, but I think it's a good gift idea. Hold on here. For stackers, and I want to show you the one that I have here. Thank you, Dan. Dan W., you are always so darn. There's a discount code, Ron10, if you decide to get one. Here's my DirtyMan Safe. I got one hanging somewhere. Where is it? Right there. DirtyMan Safe, but then also right above channel sponsor Pimbex. But I got one down here. Check this thing out. This is their small one. They come in much bigger sizes too. Okay. And it is really cool. You unscrew this, right? Put whatever you want in there. I always have this upside down. Let's fix this. I keep the unicorn, right? Don't put unicorn fart dust into your DirtyMan Safe, but you seal it up, and then you have that sleeve in the ground. You lower it down in there. It's got this like stainless steel handle, so you can pull it up. Really an interesting product. And if you're not going to get it that way, did you hear this story? This is an interesting story that came out. How about this? And I want you to think about silver and gold in this. What is this? Hold on here. X.com. Let's see what this is. Wow. We'll look at this chart real fast. It's not just the U.S. This shows, guys, how crazy. It's not just the United States. Government deficits have increased in many countries across the globe. What stands out is not just the primary deficit, but the interest payments. And look at this chart. Shows all the different countries. The light blue is the interest payments that the United States are making, UK, Japan. Okay, the dark blue is the deficit. I mean, and look at how high the deficits have grown. But what's really shocking about this is when you compare things to 2007, which is the gold diamond, it has just absolutely exploded. Look at China, Mexico, Poland, Brazil. I mean, Brazil is paying a ton of interest. It looks like they have their fiscal house in order, but this does not end well. There's like $340 trillion of debt right now in the world. I mean, we're in a debt bubble like 3 times, I think, the world GDP. That's the world that we're living in, a debt-based, make-believe, unicorn fart dust, whatever you want to call it, world. And the world is now waking up and moving. It's not just the Costco dads. It's everybody waking up and moving to silver and gold. Oh, here's what I wanted to show you. This is interesting. Metal detectorists unearth ancient silver coins worth millions. This comes from Dogo News, which I've never heard of before. But anyway, listen to this story. Adam Staples and his friends traveled to Chew Valley in Somerset, England, to test a new metal detector. They were just testing out their new metal detector. While exploring a farmer's field, the device found a trove of silver coins buried in the soil. Staples, an auctioneer specializing in ancient coins, immediately knew they'd found something extraordinary. He was right. The group uncovered what is now called the Chew Valley Hoard, a collection of almost 2,600 silver pennies dating back to the 11th century, so over 1,000 years ago, guys. On October 23rd, 2024, the Southwest Heritage Trust purchased the coins for $5.5 million, making it Britain's most valuable treasure find. Staples and his friends received half the money, each taking home about $400,000. The other half, approximately $2.8 million, will go to the owner of the land where the coins were found. But the takeaway here is these guys, they didn't find Bitcoin buried. They didn't find paper money buried. No, they found this, guys. They found silver, this buried, that had been buried 1,000 years ago. Okay, 1,000 years ago. So why is that not focusing? That's going to bug me. Come on, focus. I don't know what's going. There it is. Now it should stay focused. There it is. Look at that. Beautiful. That came from Big Tim the Silvershire. They found, 2,600 of these silver coins that were buried 1,000 years ago. And guess what? I'd say they were still pretty darn valuable. All right, guys, thanks for being here. Thanks for being part of the basement. This is going to be absolutely crazy. Think about this. Trump, right? Scared about the BRICS, scared of the massive threats going on. China completely changing how silver and gold are being traded on the Shanghai Gold Exchange, introducing potentially millions of new participants in the physical gold market, which is the Shanghai Gold Exchange. Massive uncertainty as we head into 2025 with what's going to go on with the new presidential administration. We're just getting a taste of it this weekend, basement dwellers, right? I mean, that's why we hold silver and gold, right? What Trump announced this weekend, front page news, Bloomberg's, Reuters, everybody's reporting it, these 100% tariffs. We've got his appointees, right? He's already officially appointed Scott Bessent. He's a gold bug billionaire. Okay, the guy loves gold. The guy's aligned with Jimmy Rott. Look, we are in for some good times. It's going to be great. Thank you for being here. I want to say thank you, channel sponsor, First Mining Gold, Canadian gold developer with 2 multi-million-ounce projects in Canada. You can learn more about them at firstmininggold.com. And Fortuna Mining, another stock that I own, although I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not giving financial advice, but Fortuna Mining is a successful gold and silver miner, gold and silver being mined in Latin America in an expanding gold mining operation in West Africa. Hey, guys, have a great day. Thank you for being here. Thanks for all your support. Thank you for that super chat, my friend, Dan W. Let's get you up on the screen. Okay. Happy December, and I'll be seeing you guys soon. Thank you.